permanently, I would definitely think he's an upgrade in addition to Raheem Sterling.
I'm gonna make you mine. There's something special about your love. I think it's one of a kind.
Yeah, so trying to get back into doing the football content. It's a lot harder to get it into the short stuff than it is when you're making the shorts, reels, even the TikToks. It's a lot harder because if it's not just a clip of the longer show, then you're kind of trying to explain why you have these hot texts into this very short amount of time, in addition to a intro. So it's hell on wheels. I know, like, to certain people that don't watch football, you're like, what the hell is he talking about? Basically, just think about it this way. When you're talking about the things that I'm trying to cover here, a majority of it is going to need explanation. It's going to need you to elaborate. You're not just going to blurt out, I want this guy to come in, I want this guy to leave, and blah, blah, blah. You can, but then everybody's going to kind of look at you like you're crazy. And it's also like, how does that spawn anybody to want to come back and watch you in a longer format if you're not even saying anything that much intriguing in the shorter one? So, like, I think I'm going to have to play around with this for a little while with trying to get this right.
Well, you see why I was telling you to do it, because now you know that it's more difficult, than you had originally thought.
Well, I think the problem is that originally I just thought, oh, just do the show, cut out a minute or cut out less of a minute of it, and just make TikToks and reels and I almost said Vines. I've never been on Vine, and I almost said Vines. Reels, TikToks, and shorts out of it. But like making specific 1 minute length content, it's a lot harder than you think. Like, some people, public speaking, they have an issue with public speaking where, like, it feels like forever. But like for me, when you're talking about something that or you feel knowledgeable on, that 1 minute time frame is very short. Even 3 minutes is very, very short, especially because you're not trying to like speak at like Bone Thugs and Harmony, like twist of multisyllabic like intervals, or not breathe in between. You want to just speak at a natural tone, you add an intro and an outro to that video, you're really working with like maybe 40 something seconds. So it's rough, a lot rougher than you would think. Like, if it just ends up being a clip of the show, I don't think it will be as challenging. And I think that was what the problem was. I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. It's just going to be like the show, just cut up the show. And I'm sure I will do some shorter content that's like that, but doing specific shorts and reels and stuff like that, it's rough, man. It's rough. And like, for all the content creators that I see, even when I don't like your content, I have to give respect to the fact that like these people put together these things, they edit these things, they put it out there. Just following through too, and putting up through with like putting time into something, half an hour to an hour to 2 hours of editing to get like 7 likes, and like 4 of those likes is you and your wife and like 2 of your friends are that like really supportive. It's rough.
So to the newbies out there that want to get into like content creation, like we are trying our best to, or like we are doing it, but like succeeding to the higher levels is our aim, right? What would you tell them, or what kind of would you kind of guide them and say?
It sounds oversimplistic because you've heard it from 1,000 people already. Just keep going, keep recording, keep making content.
What does Think Media always say? Press record, just press record.
Yeah. But like the thing is, like, you have to realize this, right? No matter how much content you've consumed over your life, your first videos are going to suck, right? They're going to suck, and you should welcome that, because that is setting a baseline for you to improve from, right? You're gonna feel uncomfortable. You're gonna look back at it and be like, why am I so uncomfortable? And that's gonna improve you for your next video. And before you know it, you're talking to the camera supernatural. Not supernaturally, but like feeling very natural. When I say supernatural, and it just flows better. Encourage that. Go through it. And then the other thing is, you're worried about putting out content that nobody's watching. Let me tell you something. In content creation, I'm going to say this. There's one thing that I've learned. I haven't made it yet. I'm still trying to work myself to step 3, which is the step 3 is the overnight sensation, right? People put in months, weeks, months, days, years, hours and hours, and then something goes viral, and overnight, I just watched a video with a content creator saying like one day you're gonna wake up and just look in your notifications and see thousands of people who have added you and followed you or is liking your content and doing this stuff, and it's going to feel like overnight. And just don't get lost in forgetting, like, it's not overnight. You've just been digging and digging and digging and digging. And when you hit that diamond, you can't just act like you won the lottery, because you put in all that work to get down to that diamond in the first place, right? So I'm still digging for my diamond right now. But the thing I can tell you is 2 negatives make a positive in content creation. You're probably wondering what the hell I'm talking about. Let me explain. What are the 2 fears you're going to have? One, that your content is going to suck, which it probably will. Your early stuff is going to be your worst stuff. That's the best thing ever. That means that you're improving every time you turn on the camera, right? And 2, nobody's watching. Well, why I said 2 negatives make a positive is nobody's watching you go through your ugly duckling stage, through your whack stuff. You can't pay your family members and friends to watch your early content. I'm going to tell you that right now. I have friends and family, I'm not shaming them, but I can't get them to do something free, which is click a subscribe button, even not watch the content. It is absolutely free on YouTube to make an account and click subscribe. It is absolutely free for you to like the content. God forbid it does, time is money, so it does cost you the time to watch my content if I'm asking you to, but just to like it, you can't pay people to do this, okay? They will watch hours of somebody else,
but they'll watch other people's
that
content.
they don't know for hours on end, but you, they have access to you, so they are not watching. Use that to your advantage. Use that. Right now they're not watching you. So all that like invisible audience, turn it off. Nobody's watching. Trust me. You're going to wake up and you're going to have like 7 views. And 6 of them is probably you watching back the thing. So this is the perfect time to grow and get familiarized with like, I do a weird thing where I turn my mouth like this, or like I speak out the side of my lips. I don't know. That's how I look when I talk. I say a lot. I say like a lot. I do this. I pause, or I look nervous as hell in front of the camera and I look stiff, and all of that. You can get all of that out of the way while you can't pay people to watch. So by the time that they start paying attention to you, you're super comfortable. And also, by the time the haters start, why is he wearing that shirt again and this and that, you'll be way too comfortable for them to bother you. So turn those 2 negatives into a positive and just keep digging. Just keep digging. That's the best I can tell you is I'm still digging. I feel a lot more confident than I did before. Just down to like even thinking about when I was doing Absolute Sitter before, I was like, man, even though I felt confident in what I was talking about, I still felt like kind of stiff and rigid and stuff like that. And I said, it's not going to be like that when I get on camera now. It's going to be super easy to kind of flow and just sit there. Like, all I got to do is sit and talk about something I'm interested in and somewhat knowledgeable about and like super opinionated about. I mean, this is going to be cakewalk compared to like trying to shoot like B-roll and walk and talk and keep yourself focused on a lifestyle blog while other people are staring at you with a camera like, what the hell is that guy doing over there? And finding interesting things to do. they're the entertainment. I am literally doing a reaction video and an opinion and like a review when I'm doing Absolute Sitter. So this to me is gonna be way more comfortable.
Wait,
I think
what
you'll
is
see.
Absolute Sitter? Tell our viewers what Absolute Sitter is, because they may not know.
Alright. Lisa wants me to do like a cheesy shameless plug, so I'll do it right now. So if you are one of the subscribers here, I would love for you to join me over there, but I'm going to be honest with you, it is not the same type of content. This lifestyle blog stuff, I love doing this. I've actually grown very attached to it. As someone growing up, I used to interview myself as a kid, so this is very much like living out that dream of like kind of getting to interview that. Absolute Sitter is a play on the term absolute sitter. So in football, in English football, an absolute sitter is an easy tap-in goal, like right on the goal line. Is like you could sit in a chair and score this goal, right? So it's a play on words because I'm sitting down. I am watching football from like a spectator view. This is not like a professional footballer talking about football. And I use that to talk about football. Might mix it up with some MMA, some sports related stuff. I don't know how far I'll branch off. It's not in a barbershop, but very much going to be barbershop talk with a heavy emphasis on sports and an even heavier emphasis on football / soccer. When I say football, I mean soccer. And then even more so, I'm a Chelsea fan, so there'll be a lot of Chelsea content on there being covered. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing over there. This though is more real life and more of me and less of opinions about other, like, you know, the sports related things. So if you're interested in seeing it or you just want to support, more than welcome to come over there and click on that. But this is where the lifestyle stuff is going to be at, and the behind the scenes stuff, that's going to be much more like sports related stuff. So
Do you use bad words over there?
I'm going to try not to, but it really is going to depend on the disappointment of the team. I can tell you that. Like, it's going to be rough. I mean, there's times when, I used to laugh at people that got like that worked up over sports, and I still do. I never really tried to take sports that serious, but you get angry at anything that you follow and put that much effort into, especially because you have no power over it. You can be screaming at the TV about doing something, and it's either happened like a couple of seconds ago, or you have zero. I'm not on the board at Chelsea. I can't tell them who to buy or who not to buy, and what player to play and how to play that player and whatever. So bad words I haven't so far, but I can't guarantee that I'm always going to be that way. I will always try to be respectful, and I'll never really disrespect audience. No matter how much I disagree with you, I will tell you, prepare to defend your viewpoint, but I'll never attack people. I will defend myself to an extent without feeding the trolls over there. But yeah, it's a totally different. It's gonna be a totally different vibe over there, because it's just a channel about my interests. As like, picture it. Put it this way, you guys, if you're following us here, the simplest way I can think there is like, follow me into my man cave. And that's Absolute Sitter is my virtual man cave, basically. That's all it's gonna be. I don't think I'll be divulging into like deep thought of men. I'm just talking about probably sports stuff and surface level things over there. So if I didn't do a horrible job of selling you to come over there at this point, just know all support I will love and I'll cherish, but just know it's different from the content over here. I keep on trying. The other thing I gotta say, getting your mind ready for something. Like, I've been preparing to start back Absolute Sitter, but I wasn't prepared to start back tonight. I thought we were gonna do like stuff on RBS, and I was just like, all right, well, it's in the back of my mind. It's nothing. It's like lyrics, you know, like a song I already wrote or something. You're just gonna, you know, whatever. And it's like, yeah, like mentally preparing is very important. You always have to be mentally prepared for why you're turning on the camera.
But you know why? Like I know I'm not in the vlog, but because I don't feel like putting on a bra. But you know why I also I think this, we've talked about this on our BS. This kind of, we're gonna tie into on our BS right now. Is make sure you establish what are your goals for today. What are my goals for today? And make sure that you're on the same page, because like you had yourself prepared for on our BS, and like we thought we were talking about the same thing. Oh, we're gonna do content.
I mean, yeah,
creation.
I have 3 days of work, but I shave my head, so I could have looked nice. Do up my beard and thing. Cause here's the plan. Let me explain to you how on our BS works for me personally. Okay, so we do on our BS. We have a lovely conversation, share a bottle of wine, that we eventually end up sharing with you guys. And these are real conversations that we end up having, right? These are not like fictitious conversations. We do obviously talk about these subject matters, but like we don't over prepare and be like, oh, what are your points? What are you going to point out? These are like raw reactions to each other's
no, like,
thing there. It's not live, but it's not I'm not going up there scripted, and I'm not like, don't say this or don't say that. To each his own if that's how you prepare. But so the thing with that is, I go in there, do my best impression of, you know, cleaning up and sweetening up and thing, and throw on like euphoria like aftershave. But yeah, so I put on one of that and whatever, and I come out the shower and I'm like, yeah, you know, ready for this. We're gonna have a great conversation, a great bottle of wine, and then when the camera goes off, yo, maybe put on a movie, set the mood, and have like some off camera you know, on camera for you guys is on our BS, and then turn off the camera and then enjoy some alone time with my wife. So this is very much the mindset. So when I'm in there, like, and this is behind the scenes, right? So when I'm in there, I get a message because Lisa's in here like setting up on thing, and she's like, what are you doing right now? Because like, I think also she's like, yo,
I was waiting for you.
Yo, where is this dude? And then also like, yo, the assumption is like, are you doing, so this is the checkup, like, are you doing something constructive, or are you like just sitting down like wasting hours of time like looking at Zillow and TikTok and freaking reading the same Chelsea article like 14 times because no new news have come out and whatever.
One of those three.
And I'm like, no, I'm actually in here like shaving my head and doing all that kind of stuff, getting clean and right. So she's like, yo, what is your goals? So now, this is where what she says is important. I said, oh, I want to record some content, right? But we are both thinking, oh yeah. But what we don't realize is we might be on the same page but in 2 different books, or like in 2 different versions of the book. Like, she's thinking, oh, alright, cool, absolute sitter, that's content. I'm thinking on our BS, that is also content. And then here we go, ship sailing past each other, and we're like, yo, wait, what? So that's the issue where you need to be very specific with communication, because you can have the best of intentions in mind and sometimes, and then feel underappreciated for your intentions because you have not wrapped your head around the idea of what you want to do, and then the other person, that's not what they want to do. You know, today I wanted to run to Aldi's and go buy some eggs and buy Lisa some flowers and thing. But I at some point stopped and said, yo, you know what the problem is? It's become so late that if I run on the road and do that, and it takes me even 15 minutes to get to the store that I want to, more than likely I'm not going to find the flowers there. Like, before you know it, this is an hour round trip thing, right? An hour out of the house is not going to be worth the flowers coming back with. Because Lisa's going to be like, yo, you could have been here. I could have been editing or doing something. and you could have been like kind of helping me out with Kellan so I can get work done or whatever, which would be ultimately more appreciated than the eggs and the flowers or whatever.
Amen.
I'm gonna be looking at it like, damn, you're being like ungrateful because like I'm trying to do something nice and get something practical done. But it's again, it's like her mindset isn't on that. She is over there thinking, oh, I'm gonna get some work done, and now here I go running
like
through the
like
door or whatever.
On our
So
BS episode, at the top, I'm going to add an on our BS where we kind of discuss this is knowing what you think it might be nice for your partner, but also knowing that what your partner will need versus want. Okay. Need
somewhere up
versus
here,
want.
look for the link for the last one of the last episodes. It
Because
was actually a very interesting conversation.
You know, well, yeah.
Yeah,
Love that
just watch it back. It's not super timeless content, but it's not something that if you didn't watch it when we came out, you can't you can't appreciate what we're talking about on that episode, because what we ended up talking about was funny. It was spawned from like, you know, what's the last thing that I did that annoyed you, and like she had an answer and I had an answer.
That's not even the one. I'm talking about the conversation where left work and you went to the supermarket to get something, and I was like, what I really needed you is to come home to like let me sleep or something like that.
No, I think it was the same. I think it's the same thing. It's the same one. So anyway,
I think it's one of a kind. There's something special about your love. I want it all the time. You will always be my inspiration.